welcome back to Victoria 3, Dai Nam. Now, just as a little caveat at the start of this, I'm not the greatest at this game. I'd probably go as far as to say I'm pretty crap at this game. I've not played it since I've started Dai Nam, obviously, but I've only had a quick go, and so I'm not fully up to date with all of the new mechanics either, so I'm going to be learning that as I go. Let's have a quick look at our current situation that we've got here. You can see that my financial situation is, we're in kind of dire straits, -5. That's because I built some construction sectors. You can see we're up to 18 here. We're currently building the last of 5 or 6 barracks that I started building. That's because, as you can see from my military, I've got room for one more. So I think we're building these in Dai Nam, if I remember correctly. If we scroll down to the barracks. No, it's not. It must be, yeah, so we're building them in Tonkin. Tonkin, I believe, is our capital. At least I think it is. Yeah, that's where Hanoi is anyway. I know you've got a market capital and you've also got a state capital as well. So yeah, we're building some barracks because, as we can see, the closest enemy to me is going to be Siam. In fact, we're probably going to go to war with Siam fairly early on. When it comes to diplomatic demands, there's a few things I can do. Make tributary. I've got 13 countries here that I could maybe try and make tributaries. Problem is, I don't have a navy, and it looks like I'm going to need a navy in order to do some kind of naval invasion. So they're pretty safe for now, unless I've misunderstood the mechanics of this game in some respects. But I don't think I can get to any of these nations without a navy. So as I say, we've currently got 2 generals in this one. That's why we can field up to 60. I don't have a single navy yet, but I'm going to get a navy, and then I'll probably divide this army into 2 groups of 30, and that way I can at least do naval invasions with 30. But that means I need a navy of 30, and that's going to take some time. So before we do any of that, let's try and just wage war on our own sort of peninsula here in Indochina. We've got a transfer subject action. Now, these subjects, I believe, belong to Siam, which is of course Thailand. Now I can do a transfer subject thing here, and I can see that, you can see that Siam's got 45, I think it's irregular infantry. I've got 59 irregular infantry. That's not necessarily to say that I'm stronger. I could still lose maybe, but they've also got conscripts as well, but they're going to be pretty rubbish. I would have thought they're probably about the same anyway, so I still think I overpower them. And I could also do this action for these 2 states as well. What I tend to look at, if we have a look at my situation as far as goods is concerned, I've brought the price down a little bit with regards to these kind of things, construction goods, which are pretty important. You know, I've got lumber here, for example, and fabric. I'm still on the basics construction, so I haven't got iron frames yet. I'm still using wood and fabric. So you can see wood is quite expensive, so I'm going to continue to go on and build wood. I've got these government buildings. I am setting up my first iron mine, so that means I'm going to get things going anyway. Let me take it off pause so things actually move along. You can see that we're trying to enact National Guard at the moment. So this is because I'm probably going to do some things that our political parties don't really like. So the chances are, with National Guard, at least I'll be able to quell any kind of revolution a little bit quicker. That was a success. So that was a debate event, so it was a success. 57. I don't foresee that I'm going to have any issue pushing through National Guard. We already, in the last episode, because this is something I've been sticking on YouTube, but in the last time I played this, we got Professional Army, which is going to be pretty important because we're probably going to be going to war with Siam. Institution wise, we've got our law enforcement. It's currently giving power to the landowners because it's local law enforcement. There's our lathe unlocked. Let's have a quick look at this. You can see over in society I got law enforcement on them. Maybe I'm thinking of a different playthrough that I had, because that looks like I've had it for ages. It must have been a different one I was playing through. So that means we can get dedicated police force. Production wise, we've just got lathe. I might even go, have we even got, I don't even know if I've got, let's have a quick look over to rural. We certainly don't have any coal mines, but can I, yeah, there are 2 locations. Again, it's going to be predominantly these 2 locations that I'm building mines. In fact, I recall now that I was actually going to invest a lot of time in building mines. You can see that qualifications is an issue, so what I wouldn't mind doing fairly early on is introducing some schools. We haven't got any at the moment, and if I want to bring in religious schools, I'm going to need Yeah, I think we've got serfdom, haven't we? Yeah, we've got serfdom, so we're going to need to get rid of serfdom in order to enact even religious schools, really, public schools. Yeah, even if I just want religious schools, which isn't going to piss... well, neither of them are going to piss anybody off, and we do have quite a strong intelligentsia. But it's not going to happen anyway, not until I get rid of serfdom, at the very least. So, how do I get rid of serfdom? I can get tenant farmers. Let me slow this down just while I have a look at this. So I can get tenant farmers. It means bringing... that would radicalise the landowners who are still pretty strong at the moment. In fact, all of these are going to... so either way, it looks like I'm heading for a bit of a revolution. So before I do that, I'm probably going to want to see National Guard through, just so I can try and control that revolution a bit better. So we'll probably do that. Is there anything we can kind of enact now while we're waiting? The answer is no. In our government, we currently have the armed forces and the landowners. I think the armed forces have kind of sort of served their purpose. What would happen if I tried to reform the government? And let's say I got rid of them. That's not going to make any difference. But what if I brought in... we're going to lose a significant amount of legitimacy by bringing in intelligentsia. They obviously don't get on very well with the landowners. There's completely different motivations and conflicts of interest and everything there. That's sailing through as I thought it would. Yeah, we could actually... we'd lose a little bit, but we still wouldn't get... we wouldn't get too much of a debuff or anything like that, or whatever you call it, if I brought rural folk in. So if we just have a quick look at what rural folk... Gotta be careful how I speak here, actually, to be honest. I mean, they'd be quite happy with dedicated police force, but then again, so would the arms. Yeah, the reason I... so why couldn't I... even the armed forces are happy with the dedicated police force, so why aren't I able to bring that in? Oh, of course, because we're already enacting National Guard. Let's just let this sail through, and then we'll take a look at what laws are available. Jumping back to our queue, government administration, because bureaucracy is really low, but also as well as that, you can kind of see the taxation capacity down here is terrible. Let me just first of all make sure that I'm getting social mobility. Yeah, we've got social mobility up there, we've got social mobility there. So that's going to give us an increase to qualifications and education access. I'm going to get the schools in as soon as I can. No point building a university, I wouldn't have thought yet. Can I even build a university? No, I can't even build one yet anyway. Because we need academia. Okay. And I haven't even set this. So let's have a look, see what we're going to do. Society. Academia. I'll select that one for now. That's not to say I can't change my mind. Let's have a look at production. Yeah, I mean, obviously I am going to be going into production fairly soon. But we'll do academia first anyway. Since we are wanting to sort out that qualification access issue. Intensive agriculture. If I've understood this correctly, which I probably haven't, but if I take a look at this, grain and everything is quite cheap at the minute. Food isn't really an issue for us, so intensive agriculture seems like it shouldn't even be a focus of mine just yet. I know you can get kind of like fabric through that as well, but we can get cotton industries and things like that for fabric. I'm going to put it on speed 5. Just because I want to work through this queue. We've selected our technology. We've got to wait for this to get through. We've got an advance event. In the midst of the debate surrounding National Guard, one of the country's leading playwrights strongly associated with the armed forces has staged a widely acclaimed play. So for this one, we can either just get it increased. We've already got 59%. I'm not too worried about the enactment success chance. Plus 10%. In armed forces are... you can see their cloud there is kind of increasing slowly, so that's not really a big deal either. So I might just go for prestige. We just jumped from 55 to 51. I think prestige is probably going to be pretty important, given the fact that I'm going to be going to war soon, preferably with Siam. And let's have a look, because actually Siam, I can do Conquer State. There's some things I wouldn't be able to do, because I think Siam and myself are relatively... I mean, that's not going to happen, I don't think. I think I'd be out. And there's also... well, these would join simply because they're actually sort of... well, Cambodia is my tributary, but they obviously don't like me very much, and so they'd be quite happy to join. Am I actually improving our relations with Cambodia? Yeah, I am improving relations, but they still don't like me very much, so they would join a war if I just went out all out with Thailand. I want to have a quick look at the market down here for this one. You see, they've got shortages and stuff in their market. So if I brought them in, like if I did a, say for example, I did like a diplomatic demand and it was a transfer subject, and I tried to bring them in, I may well succeed in a war there, I guess. But then that means that they would be part of my market, and it looks like they've got shortages. Now that isn't in that, that's probably not in my best interest then, is it? To bring them in, like, unless... I mean, iron, for example, I could bring them in, and that way it would give them, like, I'd be able to sell iron more quickly. There'd be more demand for my iron. They've got artillery. Yeah, so they're actually fielding military, and I think that's why they've got shortages in some of their industries. Coal mines, iron mines, they've started, like, trying to get into coal and iron, but they haven't got the coal. They haven't got the tools to do it. And it's pretty much the same down here as well. So yeah, I could actually do like a, to make it a bit more interesting, I suppose I could just go for a transfer subject, but I don't know if that's actually a good thing to do at the moment, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's to be considered. I'll think about that in a second, but time's ticking on. We're just going to get through our next government administration. Bureaucracy's already increased a little bit. We've got an advance event. An influential faction within rural folk has grown frustrated with their core members' neutrality on the topic of National Guard. This would reduce the pop attraction to the rural folk. I probably don't really want to do that, given the fact that some of their laws are actually things that I would support. That's a minus 5%. This would be a minus 15%. I guess I'll go for that because it gives me the success. Extra 15%. Right, what else? What else could I... let's have a look. Declared interests. So, my interests are in Indonesia. I can't colonise anything. In fact, I don't even think I've got... Well, yeah, we haven't. We haven't even got colonisation anyway, so we can't do that. So that's not something I'm going to be too interested in. Diplomatic actions. Improve relations. If I take a look down at Siam, who I'm focusing on Siam because I know that I'm not going to be friends with them. They're rivaled with me, but they're also rivaled with China. Now, I'm already improving relations with China, so that's good. If I got some kind of defensive pact with China, that would be pretty good. Yeah, this is where the vassalage is, look. So those two places I was just considering, and they're a tributary. So these three here are the places where I could potentially try and steal some of them. Yeah, that's their tributary, that's their vassal. So I could try and steal one of them. There's a guarantee of independence there from the Netherlands. I don't think I have to worry about that because I'm not trying to steal away their independence. So, we've just managed to build our last barracks. So we can see we're now fully stacked here. I think the next thing I'll probably want to do is try and get a navy together. So if I click on this, we can kind of see what benefits we've got in our states. We're not going to have issues with wood, but what's this one? Agriculture and plantations infrastructure. One of the new mechanics in this that I'm not fully up to date with yet is the fact that I can build in Cambodia, but Cambodia is now, it's a different country, but it's because it's a tributary of mine, I can actually build there. In fact, even if it wasn't a tributary, obviously even if it's a foreign nation, you can build there. That's something that's new. It came with a new patch. Was it 1.7? So I'm not familiar with that yet. I haven't done anything like that yet. National Guard has sailed through to adoption, and this is our journal as well, by the way. You've just seen that one of the journal entries was triggered there and it completed. This is Learn the Game. That's the one that I've chosen for Dai Nam. So because of that, we've got some of these that are basically just pointless, and they're just guiding me through. So, change current health system law. Now that would make sense anyway, because we kind of want to make sure people are living longer. Mortality rates we want to try and keep down, so pass an institutional law. I can't really do that yet until National Guard goes through, but if we take a look at laws and have a look at a health system, I need medical degrees, pharmaceuticals, yeah, so I need at least to get medical degrees before I'm even going to be able to do that. So maybe after academia, I can look into that. This one here is part of the, you know, the tutorial. So this one's like fix unproductive building, and this is talking about the livestock ranches here in Annan. So here they are. It is unproductive. That's because they're producing meat, which is incredibly cheap at the moment. They're also producing fabric, which I'm using, but we've got an abundance of it at the moment. Pop consumption and the construction sector. So if I wanted to try and improve this, I'd probably want to sell more meat. Now the thing is, I can export. I don't know if we can export meat anywhere. There is one for productive, and that's to the Qing market, so let's do that. And let's see if that actually gives us a bit of a pass here. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if that improves the productivity of the livestock. We're just about to get government administration. It's 4 weeks. I'll put on speed 5. We're cordial. Is that China? No, that's Cambodia. So we're actually cordial with our tributary now. National Guard's gone through, so if we do have any bother, we're going to be able to try and slow down a revolution. Right of assembly, slavery banned. Yeah, I banned slavery in the last one as well. We didn't have a lot of opposition to that, so that was fine. For this one, I could go for dedicated police force. That's going to piss off the landowners, and I just want to make sure, what was it that I was going to do before? It was a serfdom, wasn't it? And I can't do that because, well, there's no reason I can't do that. I just need to make sure that I've got the right parties in. So if I was to do reform, see, this has slipped a little bit to 69. We'd lose opposition, yeah. We'd lose some bonuses to sort of standard of living and loyalists and enactment time. We'd lose that, which I'd rather not lose. So maybe we'll just go for a dedicated police force, because the best thing would be to just try and weaken the landowners a little bit. It's quite typical, isn't it? No matter what you play as, you generally need to weaken the landowners a little bit. I've noticed they already don't like me very much, but that's all right. We're currently researching academia, which is society, so we're kind of wasting military research speed there. Although actually we're getting a 10% bonus from intelligentsia, so that's all right. Okay, we've started building the iron mines now, so I'm just going to speed that up and let the iron mines go through. The thing is with iron, we're not actually needing it. So when these are built, we're actually not really going to have any demand for it. So I just want to quickly slow it down and just see what I'm going to do with that iron. I'm probably going to want to... have I built a tools workshop yet? Yes, I have. So let's speed it back up again. As soon as that iron is done, we're going to shift up to raw iron tools, and that's going to create a lot of demand, and it's going to reduce some of the demand on our wood. Now, I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but obviously as soon as the iron is... as soon as we've opened the iron mines and we shift the tool workshops over to iron, there's going to be a shortage of iron, obviously. Now that's going to create a huge demand, and they're going to be able to employ people quite quickly, but I'm not sure whether that has a sort of lasting debuff or anything like that. But I don't think so. Urban centres, we could move all of these up to market squares now. It would reduce the services, that's going to make people happy, and it'll increase... yeah, it'll probably improve the glass workshops a little bit, because I think they were just struggling. I think we've just seen the productivity change a little bit. We've had a stall event, so we're not doing very well at the start of dedicated police force. Prominent members of the armed forces, outspoken supporters, they've been corrupt. So I can either take a 15% enactment success chance, 10%, or we could take a setback. Law enactment setback count is less than 2, so we can do this. It's going to take a hit to bureaucracy, but we could handle that, so that's absolutely fine. So we've got a setback, but at least, well, we're still at 2%. We're still at 2%. So the chances of us getting a stall 66, debate 30%. Yeah, so I'm just hoping for a debate event. Iron mines are almost ready, so what I should have really done there is just set something else up, but I'll tell you what, let's go straight into here and shift that over to raw tools. That's going to create an immediate input goods shortage. Let's just take a quick look at my trade routes. I'm not making any money. I was exporting sugar because it's incredibly cheap in my market, but for some reason I'm not really getting much money from it. Despite not enjoying full rights under Vietnamese law, some wealthier Khmer people have begun moving into neighbourhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. Petit bourgeois are not very strong at the moment, 2.6%, so it's And I think it just said they're really loyal, so I think I'll tell you what, I'll reduce the chance of I'll increase loyalists is what I'll do. I'm importing tools. I think what I'm going to do is stop doing that, because my tool workshops now are going to presumably increase in productivity, and it wasn't making us any money anyway. I'm exporting meat, so we're getting a little bit of money from that. Like I say, we're importing paper. That's why I think we're in the positive. You can see there that we've just got average taxes. We're not, there's no consumption taxes or anything like that at the moment. So there you go. Let's take a quick look at what we can build next, actually. I want to get an arms industry up and running, so I think we're going to need to get some, probably more steel. I mean, that's always a given, so tell you what, let's just stick another one of them on there. But also, I don't think we've actually got any hardwood. We'll go into rural and scroll down to our logging camps. I'm quite happy with the user interface now. I'm getting used to it. So you can see here that this is being built, so obviously there's no employment yet, but just at a glance on the screen you can see the employment, you can see the cash reserve. So this is all softwood production. So I think I'll make... In the south here we've got 1 unemployed, 55 unemployed, 0 unemployed. We don't have an issue with unemployment anyway. To outside observers, the armed forces may appear firmly committed. Right, so the armed forces are starting to split away from the idea of dedicated police force. Again, I can take a setback, which I think I'll do. Obviously we can't take any more setbacks, and if we do have one, it's just going to be wiped off anyway. I'll speed up a little bit while we're building those iron mines. Logging camps up here are starting to be unproductive. If I was to, let's see, I want to get a navy up and running, but in order to get a navy up and running, I'm going to have to get a military shipyard, I believe. Is that right? Not enough qualifications. So if none of them are going to have the qualifications I need to fully see this. I mean, I can build a shipyard in Cambodia despite the fact it's my... They don't have the qualifications either. There's a lot of people unemployed in Cambodia, whereas nobody's unemployed in Vietnam there. So I wonder if that's one of the... The problem is, if Cambodia ever split away from me, then I've lost my military shipyards. It doesn't make any sense, does it? So I still just need to think about why we would do that. Why we would build in another... I can understand why... I mean, some countries do it in real life, don't they? They basically build ports in other countries around the world so that they can quickly go to war, and they'll already have a force in that area, but... Obviously we're just all consolidated around here, so it doesn't make much sense at the moment. No qualification issue there actually. So let's build a military shipyard in Tongan. A debate? That's just... Oh, right, it's wiped it off. You know, I clicked through that really quickly there because I assumed it was just going to add 10% on, but no, it's wiped it off. Right, look at this. Now, we could do this. It is going to radicalise that. No, we can't do it, can we? Because I just don't think we could manage a revolution. I mean, I need that. I would really like to get it done. To be honest, there's no guarantee that this stream's going to last very long anyway, because the chances are I might end up just like completely demolishing everything, so I might actually... What would be the benefit if I did that and there was a revolution? The game still carries on, doesn't it? You can kind of choose which side you're gonna go on. They've got like 67.2% clout. That is clout, isn't it? I think it is, yeah. So they are just far too strong at the moment. There's no way that I'd be able to... Let's just see what this radicalism starts looking like. I'm just going to leave it for now and we'll just see what happens with the radicalism. So our iron mine is about to be expanded. The thing is the iron mine, it's fully staffed and it's still quite cheap. So what I'm going to need to do is our urban centres here, not the urban centres, I beg your pardon, but our rice farms and stuff, I can actually give them some tools. That'll loosen up some labourers, which could then be employed elsewhere, so they could be employed in military shipyards and things like that. In fact, well, meat's still cheap at the moment. Big orchards. Right. Yeah, they're already on tools. I think I could probably just expand the logging camps, because if we look at the military shipyards, I think they need, if I can remember correctly, is like wood and fabric. How do I see that? Let me just take another look. Military shipyards, fabric, iron and hardwood. Right, okay, so they are going to need hardwood. We don't actually have hardwood yet. So I think if we look at this and we take a look, we can see wood is it's still getting quite up there. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Down in the south here, we've got a lot of job seekers and a lot of peasants. I think I'm going to open our logging farms down here. I'm going to open 2 straight off, and this one is actually going to produce hardwood. And that's going to create more demand for our tool workshops. I'll speed up a little bit. Paper's expensive. I think that might be why we've taken a hit. So we are going to want more softwood as well. Colonization's unlocked. Can I even do anything with that yet? I don't think so. No. So yeah, I'll probably expand my logging camps north and south. Do that one as well. We're building in Tonkin, and we do... Oh, we don't. We'll have road maintenance because we've still got a little bit of authority. Landowners actually really like us now. I think that's because we cancelled that previous attempt at doing dedicated police force. Yeah. What are they actually building? It's in the filters now, you've got to look, haven't you? Oh, we've got a few things kicking off there. So we've got cotton plantations and tobacco plantations being built against the odds. Despite not enjoying foot right, this time it's the Catholics. Marginalised group. What do they think of us? They're loyal as well. I'll tell you what, I'll do that. Foreign Manifesto. A recently translated work by Jugal Rawat have become popular within the movement to enact. So this will increase support for the movement. I don't know if that's in my best interest, because it's going to lead to a revolution. Yeah, I'm not really sure that's a good idea. Guess we'll soon find out anyway. The Anti-Dutch Association is formed as a result of the Netherlands becoming allied with Vietnamese rival. Okay. A couple of things going on here that's going to make this difficult. First of all, my balance is crap, so I need to look at that. And then that message we just got about a block, I'm fairly sure that was probably important as well. I'll tell you what about sorting out money, currency standards? Let's look at that next. Medical degrees can wait. I've got academia now, so that means I can maybe have a look at the schools. I can't do this, of course, because of serfdom. I think homesteading it's pretty important for us. But I need to, and the other thing is in my military here, they are, where am I looking? Where am I looking? Intelligence, like, how do I know? Have you actually got to go into it? Right, they're armed forces. So he's a landowner, he's disliked, and I don't know if that actually reduces his party's influence. There was a pretty important thing came up, wasn't there, about the Netherlands? Oh, is it this one down here? Let's have a look at this. Anti-Dutch Association lobby in Dai Nam. So this is part of the new mechanics, and again, I'm not familiar with the new mechanics yet, so this is something I really need help with. So let's see, actions targeting the Netherlands, supporters of the intelligentsia, industrial. So what exactly does this do? Appeasement, the appeasement of a political lobby. This reminds me a little bit of Stellaris, and of course it is a paradox game. So the appeasement of a political lobby affects the approval of the interest groups of the lobby. Appeasement changes based on your diplomatic actions against the lobby's country. So in this case, I guess it's Netherlands. Pro lobbies are appeased by friendly actions. A political lobby is a collection of interest groups either opposing or endorsing a certain country. The interest groups in the lobby gain approval based on the appeasement of the political lobby. Lobbies make it easier or harder to perform diplomatic actions. So all right. So I know that there's something to do with I've got to sort of be careful how I treat the Netherlands here, like. Some of increases appeasement. If we decrease our relations to a lower level, it actually increases appeasement. Breaks off a trade. Right, so these actually don't like the Netherlands. Ah, did it say something about how... Let's have a quick look at the diplomacy. Right, okay, so we're rivaled with Thailand, which is Siam, and they've just formed a defensive pact with the Netherlands, which actually means I'm screwed as far as going to a military war with. How strong is the Netherlands? I overestimated how strong they are. They're actually not that strong at all. They've got a military, but they're a great power, and they've only got like less than 20 battalions. I guess they're a great power because of the GDP, obviously, but... Right. Have we built... Right, we're still building our military shipyard. Let's get that done. Then we're going to be building in the Mekong. I think I'm going to... remove that from there. In fact, I want to keep that. Let's remove emergency relief. Oh, in fact, we can remove emergency relief from some of these things. We had a bit of a problem with natural disasters. That's where all that's come from. So let's get road maintenance up in everywhere, just to move things along. Right, the other thing I need to worry about is my budget. So why do we have a budget like this? Well, our biggest expense is military wages. Paper's expensive, but that's not where that's coming from. Ah, I'm being screwed with interest on the actual loan. I think what we're going to have to do is try and do some stuff around here, because this is... people shouldn't be smoking opium anyway. That's still not going to do it, and as well as that, I bet you radicalism goes through the roof now. In fact, that's also going to affect legitimacy. We're still alright on legitimacy. What if I reformed the government and took the armed forces out? That would still push me right at the top. Let's do that. Serfdom, I mean... Oh! Serfdom's actually not going to cause radicalism anymore. Let's do it as quickly as we can. Let's get this. Now, it did say there that it's not going to cause a revolution. But it's told me that before. And it ended up causing a revolution, so I don't know what you can believe. We can decrease that. Right, okay, so Cambodia is a tributary. If I was to... You've just told me I could decrease... It used to have a thing here where, like, you could see all of the... In fact, do we have to go in here now? Like, demands... Increase autonomy. Where's reduce? Am I looking straight past it? Reduce autonomy. Is it an action? Where the hell is reduced autonomy? Ah, never mind. Not sure where that is, but it did just tell me that I could reduce autonomy. I guess I'll do that later. Let's speed up a little bit and just see if we can get through homesteading through, and that's going to help us out a lot if we can. So yeah, we've got a political lobby down here. They don't like the Netherlands very much because they've just formed a defensive pact with Siam. Siam, of course, is our rival. So we're currently at appeasement 0. Yeah, not really. So we've built our military shipyards. Obviously we can't build anything. Let's get a let's see, create a fleet. Problem is we can't build anything yet because we've got no hardwood, so I'll probably need to bring that in. We've just got a stall event, so that's not great. Where are we going to start building our navy shipyards? Let's build our frigates in Tonkin, and we'll build some man of wars in Annam. Can't build this anywhere. And I can't do that because it has no supply of man of wars or frigates. Well, I do have a military shipyard now, but we do have a... So I could import these just until I get my logging camps built. Let's get them in from... I don't even think we need to worry about... Let's just do it from there. So now can I... Yeah, now I can. Qualifications is not an issue. Oh, it is there. Okay, let's build them in an arm. We'll build 2 naval bases. And then eventually we'll get enlistment efforts put in. We don't have the authority for it at the moment, but we will. I'll speed up again. So we're building logging camps in the Mekong. So once that's built, they're going to be built. They're going to be 12 days. Let's see what's it can do. I can't afford the bureaucracy, to be honest. I guess I'll just do that. But hopefully we can get through the introductory stage. We definitely need homesteading. So we definitely need a little bit of luck. It's gonna trigger again in a second. A court clash over homesteading or ups, right? None of these are gonna... I guess I'm just gonna have to do this and take a hit with the expenses. We're on my... we were just on the positive there because we definitely need to get out of this. We're getting hammered with interest. And I think it's because of us being an unrecognised regional power. Does that actually... It doesn't tell you at a glance, but I think it does actually increase interest rates. Paper's expensive, so I definitely need to... What did that say there? We can decrease autonomy in Cambodia. So where... Oh, so this is done from a different... Right, that's why I couldn't find it in that one. Oh, Christ almighty. We're getting absolutely hammered with natural disasters as well. We've only just got over another natural disaster that I had. I'm just going to pause it for a check, just a tick. So what is this? This is our applies between liberty desire. So this means that we can decrease autonomy, we can grant independence. So if it's in the green down here, I hope this doesn't just happen. I hope it actually says, like, yeah, okay. Cambodia, autonomy is decreased and they become a vassal. It increases liberty desire by 50. We establish an unidirectional truce. And we add 10. So, how do I know if they're going to accept this or not? Because remember, before the 1.7 patch, it would tell you if they were going to accept it or not. Or go to war with you. It doesn't seem to be telling me that at the moment. Is this going to tell me the same thing? Grant owner. Yeah. I'll just confirm and just see what happens, but hopefully it doesn't screw everything up. So does that mean that's it? They're a vassal now then? So if I just... Yeah, so Cambodia are a vassal now. Right, we've got an earthquake. An earthquake has hit the state of Annam, destroying buildings, injuring people, and even taking some lives. 20% devastation. We can't afford the expenses, so it's just going to have to be devastation. So the state will have to figure it out on its own. I'll have to... Let's get rid of promote social mobility and do emergency relief. Our logging camps have been built. Yeah, that's inactive. That's from... I haven't even got a clue where that is, so we'll just cancel that anyway. I don't know if it's in my best interests to keep these ones that are unproductive. I don't know if it's actually in my best interest to do that. I mean, sugar is worth nothing in our market. That's why the trade centre's making no money. Military shipyard, so this is the one I've just built, and obviously as we can see, it's got access to these things. There's just no demand for it. The reason there's no demand is because of the naval bases. I'll tell you what, we'll move the naval bases up a little bit and just get them out straight away. And that's speed 5. This is one of the... I know you sometimes don't have a choice in Victoria 3, but to play the game on speed 5, it's the only Paradox game where you have to just permanently have it on speed 5. I mean, I don't permanently have it on there, obviously. Sometimes it does get a bit overwhelming. This afternoon, Nagoyan, leader of the rural folk, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of homesteading. So this is definitely what we want. I'm just going to go for the additional 15%. We need to get it through the introductory stage. It hasn't even got out the introduction stage. Right, our naval base in Nam has just been built. So scrolling down, they're enlisting people. So that's actually going to increase demand for man of wars. So then if we jump to the top, our military, where did we build that military base? Military shipyard, I should say. So we can build mobile artillery now, so that's something else I can actually move into. So man of wars are really cheap at the moment. Let me just mute this. Sorry about that. Let's see. This increases success, of course, but it gives us a setback. We don't have any setbacks, so let's just do it. Yeah, so military shipyards. I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna hammer out a couple more navies. So we've got 1, 2 frigate, 3, 4. Let's just do 2 more on there. Government wages is expensive, military wages is, yeah, to be honest with you, it's that interest, isn't it? I'm already at full. I don't have the authority to tax anything else, so we can already see paper's expensive, so it's probably in my best interest to do something about that. Paper's not really expensive there. It is in Tonkin, Cambodia and the Mekong. I think the next thing I'm going to do is expand. We don't actually have a paper factory up here, so let's build one here. That is in turn going to put a lot of strain on our wood. But we are building more wood now, so hopefully that sorts itself out. We've got an advance. Yeah. I don't think we've got any issue with radicalisation at the moment. We've got 653 loyalists. Let's just do that one. So there's a lot of support for it now. I don't know how that affects this. It obviously doesn't, but there you go. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about this budget. It seems stupid when you're like heavily in debt to start expanding your fleet. That was probably, you know what, yeah, it's probably not the best thing to do, to expand the fleet when I'm actually struggling. I think I need to increase my budget first. So I think to do that, what would we need to do? Let's have a look at our states, and we can see we've got loads of peasants. They're not obviously contributing anything really, so that's, I'm probably going to need to start expanding lower. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to expand some of these instead of going straight for stuff that... We've got manor houses, tool and workshops, trade shops. We'll take a look at some things that we can build that we haven't even built yet. So let's see, we've got... So they're already building furniture for me, thankfully, so I don't need to do that. I was going to build an arms industry, food industry. Texture. Cambodia's got one, but we haven't. Productivity would be good. And we do have an abundance of fabric, so maybe that's the way to do it. So we'll build one of them, because Cambodia's got one, but we don't. I do want an arms industry. Let's build that one in Tonkin. They're going to need iron and hardwood. Well, we've just opened our hardwood camps. And we've expanded our iron mine. And I think iron's probably still quite cheap. How do you just quickly... I don't like the fact that you have to... Well, I suppose it's just a minor complete... Yeah, iron's really cheap. What can I... Let's have a look at the goods. And let's look at what's really cheap. So hardwood's cheap, but that's good. We were exporting meat to the Chinese. That's no longer working, so we'll just get rid of it. That sugar's not really... Yeah, that revenue means what money I'm making, doesn't it? So I'm tempted to just get rid of that one, but let's have a look, see what we can export. So we've got an abundance of dyes. Let's see if we can establish an export route. Right, export that to Spain. We've got an abundance of silk. None of these are going to be up to like level 2 or 3. I mean, these are all pretty... like level 1 trade routes and stuff. Tea. Nah. Any more sugar? There's no point. And then if we flip it the other way, it's really expensive for clothes at the minute, but we're going to build another textile mill. Or our first textile mill, I should say. There is demand for porcelain, so let's have a quick look at our glassworks. Obviously, do we have any... Maybe I could open some... Right, that looks like a no-brainer, doesn't it? I might as well do that. Let's switch over to porcelain. Oh, bollocks, now there's a shortage of glass. Maybe I could open a second glass... Oh, that went off quite... No, there is still a shortage. From the French. Now I need shipyards. So let's do a shipyard in... That's convoys. It's not a shipyard I need, is it? It's a port. Yeah, it's a port I need. Not enough qualifications in the Mekong, so we'll do it here instead. Right, logging camps. They're almost built. Which has hopefully brought down the cost so that we can expand the paper mill. Tonkin has road maintenance enacted. Proposal for alliance, the British East India Company. Well, we've got the influence for it, and I don't see why I wouldn't have an alliance with them. Yeah, so I did actually start a Persia playthrough not long ago, but you can see the patch has just completely changed this area, and so I just had to cancel it. Like, it was bugged, like the entire thing changed. So I had to cancel the playthrough. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, and this game, you know, Victoria 3 took me a little while to get into. I wasn't into it at first. I'm a big Paradox fan. You know, I like Stellaris. Crusader Kings 3 was something I hadn't played before. That's fantastic as well. But with Victoria, I was playing it in speed 5. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Well, still don't, obviously. Currency standards we've got now, so let's have another quick look. Move into medical degrees maybe and start to well, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at production, because our budget's crap, and I think maybe the key is here. Something that we can get so peasants are lower strata. I want to get them into work as quickly as possible. So I mean, I guess I could just I'll click that one, but I mean, maybe I do need to start, you know, sometimes I jump the gun a little bit. Maybe I do need to start opening some basic stuff. So once these are built, I mean, with the arms industry, I wish it showed you here, like what the, so I keep finding myself going in here, going over to the arms industry, just to find out. So iron and hardwood, it would be nice just to have a reminder here. I don't know why it doesn't have that there. So hardwood is logging camps, obviously, and logging camps are a way of getting peasants into work. Oh man, that didn't buy me as much time as I thought it would. Let's go mechanical tools. I don't know if I have sulfur mines. I'll have to take a look. Now there's an input shortage of man of wars, so I need to expand my military shipyards. Meat is incredibly cheap. Let's get the canopies built, and then that's going to improve the price of meat. That's a tough one. Don't really know. I guess I'll go for the low strata pops. Probably not the best thing to have done. Military shipyards. Now, the things I don't need to build anymore. Why aren't they hiring? Because they don't want to be unproductive, but there's huge demand. We've actually got a shortage of man of wars. So why would they not? Let me speed this up just in case that's actually going to correct itself in a second. They're actually unwilling to hire. So I think the thing here is the price of these is already pretty high. So I don't know why they'd be unwilling to hire. I guess it just means because this is maybe needs to be brought down in price. Now I can't import this, which is obviously the quick and easy way of doing it. So instead of doing that, I guess I should be thinking, oh well, the textile mills are actually going to make fabric even more expensive, right? I was going to say that's brilliant. It's actually knocked my budget up even more now. So we'll have to take a look. Should we serve them? Obviously not. Let's have a look. Now that we've got rid of that, we could bring schools in, but it's private schools. So that means we'd need government reform. We'd need to bring the intelligence. That would tank everything, so we can't do that. You can see legitimacy is dropping a little bit here. I can only assume, oh well, it's because of the very high income taxes. What about if we I mean, this is a long way off, but eventually I guess the long game is getting rid of landowners out of well, getting rid of the monarchy, and bringing in some kind of parliamentary republic instead. That makes it easier to have, because we get it. I think the problem is if we got rid of that, because they're the monarchy, he is a landowner, of course. It means it's very difficult to get anybody else in here. So yeah, we want to get that, but we can't bring any of them in, unfortunately, yet. Yeah, if you've got any ideas, just let me know, because I'm out. But when it comes to laws, I can't do anything yet. Right, small arms. Now, who's demanding small arms? Because I didn't actually think. But we've got irregular infantry, haven't we? So I wouldn't have thought. Why have we gone to line infantry? We haven't gone to line infantry. We're still on irregular infantry. And they don't need small arms, so I'm not really sure why there's a demand for small arms. Is it just because that had been ticked? Yeah, it was just because that had been ticked. I have no intention of upgrading them yet. I need the small arms build. Are we still building that? Yeah, so we've got the arms industry on its way. So we've got the shortage of man of wars. Our military shipyards can build man of wars, but they're not willing to do that because fabric is expensive. I've got a lot of peasants. So maybe it's time to expand the... So the iron mine is reducing the cost of iron slowly but surely. Let's see if we can build some cotton plantations and then we can get dedicated. Right, okay, so these are starting... One thing that makes the complexity slightly higher here is that of local prices. So we've got fabric, and it's really cheap in Cambodia and the Mekong. And I've just built a military shipyard in Tonkin. And the local price of fabric in Tonkin is quite high. And I'm guessing, mind you, that it's because we've got nothing connecting these. You know, when we get railways, I assume that, you know, if we've got lots of fabric here, we can ship it north more easily. And in which case it would reduce the local price of fabric there too. Now the problem is, at the moment I don't have any of that. We don't have a port here. It is getting built. Yeah, so they've got a port down here that... Oh, actually that's me. Let's push that up. So because we've got a port in the Mekong, we're about to have a port in Tonkin. I'm hoping that actually reduces the cost of fabric in Tonkin. And with the reduction of fabric, that means that the military shipyards will be able to expand their profit margins. Right, they are starting to hire now, so hopefully that is starting to resolve itself. No, they've just said, nah, it's not happening again. Productivity's just tanked again. Because they're building ships, which is then increasing the demand. So they're building more ships, that means they're using more fabric, which increases the cost of fabric and iron. Same thing with iron, yeah, so I think what we need to do is start locally building. So we want that. I don't think we can actually build iron mines in Tonkin. No, we can't. We can build a coal mine. You know what? I'm going to do that. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Not yet, actually. I'll wait until atmospheric engine's ready. Right, so what I'm going to do is push the cotton plantation up as well. And I'm going to take that to the bottom. The last thing I need is for fabric to be even more expensive. I've been on now for almost an hour, and 3 minutes is probably all I need to get a game over. I've never had it where I've gone bankrupt before, so I have no idea what would actually happen. I mean, obviously it would make perfect sense to just like get rid of some of this. But I feel like I can't do that, because if I start getting rid of my military, we're rivaled with Siam. That's certainly not going to be good. Jesus Christ, look at all of the diplomacy they've been engaged in. See, they're supporting the independence of Cambodia now, because they obviously... because Cambodia is my vassal, so they're supporting the independence. So then if Cambodia rose up against me, they join in. So I can't get rid of my military. I'm going to need that. Right, let's see if we can loosen up some of this. We're bolstering the armed forces. Let's stop doing that. Now let's have a look at some of the things that opens up. Services, I don't really want to do that. Let's do that. An agitator appears, and he's going to try and get consumption-based taxation, which would be disastrous. I mean, none of these are really... I think land-based taxation is the best for me at the moment. That's just giving me a boost to authority. Solve budget deficit. Have fixed income that exceeds fixed expenses. Let's go a tick next to it. No, it hasn't. Right, so it's getting dangerous. So again, this is like one of the new mechanics I haven't actually had a lot of experience with. So I could grant them their own market. What is their market like? well, I suppose I can't see that now, can I? I just want to know what they are actually producing themselves. So if it seems as if I'm going to end up... Hey, Jackie. No, this is the first time I'm having a go, and as you can see, I'm not doing very well. Probably going to go bankrupt fairly soon. Cambodia is probably going to rise up against me in a minute, despite the fact that I've been improving our relationship, but they're still defiant. And Siam are supporting their independence, which means if they do rise up against me, I would assume that Siam's going to get involved. Don't want consumption-based taxes because that's going to mean my budget's going to tank even further. Let's just see if we can resolve this issue. I mean, I could come down here and start reducing, like, what's this going to do? If I do that, I'm going to lose prestige. Intelligentsia won't like me very much. It hasn't made a massive difference. I can't really reduce the military wages because I'm pretty sure if Cambodia rise up against me, it's going to give me a bit of a debuff there. Poor laws. We don't have an issue with radicalism, so I'm not really worried about poor laws and stuff either. Because usually that means that they'll be less politically engaged against you, doesn't it? Like the lower strata and things like that. But I'm not really too concerned about that at the minute. Yeah. Tell me how. Go on then, we'll have a look, see what this says. An overview of your subjects can be found in the Subjects tab. Alright, so this is where we're looking at this stuff now, okay. To the right, you can see, yeah, okay. I am skimming through this, so I might end up missing something important. Overlord actions are not the only way to change the liberty of desire subject. Boosting relations, I've already tried that. Economic dependence, so the impact on their economy. So if I was to grant them their own market, they might struggle. The difference in prestige, I mean, my prestige is 50. I could try and build up a navy, but by doing that, I'm increasing the expenses. Expenses is an issue at the moment. I need a military to be able to kind of invade some of these countries down here, because I could invade these countries and make them tributaries, and that'll sort my balance out straight away, no problem. But the problem is I don't have a navy to do that. It's always important to keep an eye on that. Yeah, no shit. Country unification. If the subject type will support their overlord in a nation formation or country unification. I'll have to take a look at this in a minute, because I'll have to. That looks like something I'm going to have to look at for a couple of minutes to be able to get that. Okay. I could actually just increase their autonomy. I don't know how I'd do that, because you would think... Like, the only thing this allows me to do... This is potential over... Right, why can't I do these things? Dai Nam is in a war. Oh, did... What was that? I'm not in a war. Oh, the only reason you can't... Right, okay, so enforce military access if we were in a war. Is that what it's saying? All of these need to be true. Cambodia is a puppet type, so take state, grant state, support regime, increase autonomy. Autonomy is not be changed. Yeah, so I would have been able to do this, but unfortunately I can't, because there's a bit of a cooldown, so that's why I can't actually resolve that one. If anybody's got any ideas about how to reduce this, I mean, unrealised taxes is like 15k, so maybe government expenses, but government administration, that'll help me to get a handle on. So I could build government administration. By doing that, it's going to increase demand in paper. That means paper is going to be more expensive. So paper at the moment is relatively cheap. So let's build some government expenses, government administration. Let's build 2 more of them and see if that actually offsets, you know, so it's going to increase my taxation capacity, but it's also going to increase the demand for paper, which means my paper expenses will go up. I don't think arms industries is what I really need to be focused on at the moment, so I'm going to shoot that down to the bottom. Let's see, grain is becoming quite expensive. So maybe we can start building some basic stuff. Rice farms, these would be productive. So you know what, yeah, let's build 2 rice farms there, and I'm going to put them right at the top of the queue. Because that means that I'll presumably be getting some tax from some of these peasants. Radicalism is going up a little bit, but... I mean, that just seems like the better choice, that one, doesn't it? They're building tooling workshops and silk farms. So rice farms, let's get them built first. So maybe this will help me to get some peasants into work, paying taxes. These dye plantations are making next to out on dyes at the moment. Cotton plantations are struggling to hire because fabric is dirt cheap. What if I was to, yeah. I'm not really sure how to bring the cost. Oh, is that me? What's this? No. Netherlands, there's Brunei down here. Netherlands seem to be going to war. They're going to conquer North Borneo. Nothing I can do, so didn't get a chance to do it, but I think it defaults at declaring neutrality. Speed 5. It seems pretty stupid being on speed 5 when I'm like minus 7k and heading towards bankruptcy, but I actually can't think of anything else at this moment in time. So we've built a couple of little farms, hopefully getting some peasants into work, paying taxes. We've also got government administration in an attempt to try to increase taxation capacity. You see, it seems like it's a little bit of a whirlpool at sea, you know, because the interest is 11k, and that is just absolutely the only way I could think to do that is increase my prestige, but I'm not really sure how I would increase my prestige to such a degree in such a short space of time. An earthquake has hit the state of an One thing I've noticed is just playing as Dai Nam, you just get hammered by these things, natural disasters all the time. I recently translated work. Right, what's this? Right, I'm gonna have to go for this. Reduce support, but it's gonna increase radicalism. I'm gonna have to just declare neutrality. I'm not in a position to do anything with anybody. Let's see. What if I just... Yeah, so Siam, they've got defense. They've got an alliance with Burma and defensive pacts, so there's no way I'm actually going to be able to go to war with them. Is there anyone else I can just... The only thing I think is like maybe waging war. Demands. Is there anybody I can reach with make tributary? I can't actually reach anybody with that because I don't have a navy. Check treaty port. No. Can't even do a transfer subject now because if I was to click this, I know they've got a defensive pact, so I know for a fact somebody would come in on their side. I'm just going to do this because I think it's pretty much game over. I'm at the end of my stream anyway. I've been on for over an hour and I can. So Yeah, we're almost going to bankrupt. I might as well just do this and just see what happens, and that'll be that. Nobody's going to join on their side. Bollocks to it. What a way to go out. What a way to go out. And even this is not going to resolve anything, because even if I do actually... right, let's mobilise. Even if I do win this, what's the GDP? Let's have a quick look. 2 seconds. Transfer Luang. Right, so it's that one there. So what's their GDP? It's like 500,000. So I don't think they're going to be contributing much to me. The interest rate is just a whirlpool. It's getting higher and higher. I can't imagine anybody's going to come in prepared for me. I was actually... I'm mates, like I'm pretty good mates with China. It's a shame they can't come in and just pay that for me. I've got a... Hang on a minute, it's Cambodia. You little... See, that's... It just goes to show that when you actually jump onto that that screen where you're thinking, oh, shall I go to war with them? Shall I not go to war with them? And then you look down and think, oh, nobody's going to join him. There's no like green figures there, so it's like nobody's going to join him. It's bollocks, isn't it? It's bollocks. So Cambodia of... Oh, well. Oh, hang on a minute. Can I sway anybody? Let's slow down. Let's see. The British East India Company, I could sway them, and... What would they want? Make a protectorate. Force another country to become a protectorate. Does that mean me? Burma. That's fine by me. So they're gonna so they're gonna make Burma a protectorate, and they'll join me presumably. Come on then. There we go. Now Siam is still confident. What's ah, look at that. Burma's actually pretty strong. I've got no chance. It's game over. Pretty sure it's game over. Oh, hurry up. Just let's get this started. Got like 2 ships. Can't afford a commander. Not that I'd be able to do anything with them anyway. I mean, destroy a few convoys maybe, but it's not going to make any difference. Right. Have we got any special actions? Pillage? Might as well. Let's just do it. Might as well pillage. Might as well enjoy himself before it all goes tits up. I don't know what that is, but obviously I can't get involved in anything like that. I'm curious what happens. Like if we lose this, what is it? Is it just a humiliation? Is that what the humiliate Dai Nam, increase Cambodian autonomy? So if by humiliating me we lose prestige, leverage generation, I'm not really sure what that means. Yeah, so we'll lose money because Cambodia will be paying us less. They'll still be a tributary, but they won't be a vassal. And they'll humiliate Dai Nam. Yeah. And me. So as you can see, we're doing terribly. Having an absolute nightmare. It goes without saying that I'm not the best at Victoria. I mean, they're pretty much... Where's my ally? Capitulation, there you go. I mean, it has actually helped my budget a little bit there for some reason. So... I can see my rank is 64, so I know they've won, but where do I actually look? Like, where do I actually see the results of all of this. Like it was humiliation. So where do I see stuff? Let's have a look. Let's go to Siam. Diplomacy. Do I appear on here anywhere? So we've got a truce. Humiliation, here it is. So Dai Nam have been humiliated by Siam. Prevents a country from opposing the other in diplomatic players for the duration of the pact. Cambodia are now no longer a tributary, but even as a tributary, they're still, obviously they've got no desire to be part of my, they're actually damaging relations. I'm actually still gonna have to try and improve relations. We've got Canary. This stream's been going on for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm pretty clear I'm gonna lose it, so I can't stay on too long tonight anyway, so I think I'm gonna call it. I might come back to this, but as you can see, Dire Straits. This was my first playthrough as Dai Nam. Hasn't gone very well at all. My Persia playthrough was much better. Just trying to claim back a little bit of respect. But I had to quit it because, like, obviously the new patch just broke all these up. Like, the idea was simply just to sort of go to war with all of these things around here, like Makran and Kiva, and they all become vassals, and then they all pay tributary to you, and you've got like a very healthy bank balance. Then I come down to Dai Nam and have a go here, and it's just chalk and cheese. It's proven a bit more of a tricky go for me. So anyway, a couple of people watching. Cheers for watching. I think I'm going to end the stream there, but thanks for having a look and watching me make a fool of myself. Have a good evening. I don't speak English very well, but I know play this game. In my country, no one is playing Victoria that I'm watching you. If you speak to me, maybe I don't understand. Well, thanks for watching anyway. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce your name. I'll say it is Pate20. Thanks for watching, and thanks for speaking as well. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm going to end the stream there, but thanks a lot. See you later now.